Okay, this one is the Going Free edition. And there's a reason for that, and I'll show you in a while. So these ones come out of an octagon, and just like the other ones, when you fold it together, you get that kind of a shape. So that's where these come from. They come from an octagon. And this is one with, I'll do the big one first here. That's 8 of them, and they make this. And you can actually add an extra layer on top using that very same form. It also comes out of the octagon, and it gives you the kind of the inverse. If you bend it the other way, you can add a top kind of layer on there. And this one I didn't do in cardstock. I just did in paper, just to give you an idea. So you get the old kind of cross shape in there. And it's interesting. You can have that just like that. With 8 of them. Or if you're a little more ambitious, you can add another layer on top of that, and you would get that. So I'm not sure if that would make an interesting light fixture, but I did have some other ideas for these forms, for these prototypes. And I thought another interesting use would be to make some speakers, like a surround sound type of speakers. And possibly you could have a combination of both, where it could be a light, a fixture, and speakers together. So that would also be quite interesting. For some more kind of technically minded people, and you're a bit more savvy with making stuff, I think that would be really cool. You could have, one of these forms, possibly the bigger ones, like the 8 I just showed you, and the one from the last video with the 14. It's quite possible that you could have both lights and speakers. Maybe some kind of ambient light, some kind of a mood setting light, and then of course the speakers are for your audio and musical kind of applications. So that's the other ideas I had, and I do have another idea for these. I'll start with this one. The 8 was interesting. I found the 8 made a 3. The other ones, when I was doing the septagon and the hexagon and the pentagon, so far anyway, I found that I couldn't get 3 out of those. I couldn't get one to make a 3, but this one did. Interestingly enough, the octagon made a perfect 3. And so once again, there's the kind of the side view, how that would possibly look as speakers or a lighting fixture. and all the different kinds of lighting fixtures. There's the bottom, there's the top view, and that's how that would look from a side profile. So that's pretty neat. The 8 made a 3. I would have never guessed that, but yeah, that turned out pretty cool. And now the other idea I had for some of these forms were they would make some really interesting I'll use this one. Like a flower bouquet or something like that, right? A flower bouquet holder. Some decorative, perhaps dried flowers, and or some fresh kind of flower bouquet. So that was another use that you can get out of some of these forms. And so this one in particular, I've got one facing one way and one facing the other way. And I'm calling this one, because this is kind of like a waltz. Yeah, this is kind of a waltz dance. And the reason I'm calling it a waltz is, that's the overhead, that's how it looks underneath. That just out of curiosity, I dropped this from above, a few feet off the ground, and when it was falling, which unfortunately I can't film that right now, but it made a natural spiral. The aerodynamics or whatever of this form, it spiraled perfectly together. So that's why I'm calling this one the waltz. That's pretty cool. So there's the waltz, if anyone remembers what that is. And the other one, which is why I called this the Going Free edition, you can see that there. That two of them together, they make the perfect little crystal in the middle. And once again, the options are lighting fixtures, speakers, flower bouquets, either decorative dried flowers or some kind of fresh flowers. So there's a bouquet idea, a decorative idea, lights, and speakers. The lights, of course, would be the one pointing down. Maybe a cool adjustable table lamp, and so forth. So that was the Going Free edition. And lastly, I thought I should point this out in case there was. I uploaded a music video of me attempting to play guitar, and just so everybody knows that no animals or anything were harmed. This was actually a piece of wood that I found, and it just had that very interesting shape, and it reminded me of a heart. And so I polished it up and gave it the red color, and decided to use that as a visual aid for my musical endeavor. So that's what that is, in case anyone's wondering. It's a piece of wood. No animals or anything was harmed. And so that's it for this one from the Going Free edition.